Hi, it's Jack, and this is a bonus episode for you. I thought I'd give you a taster of what members of this YouTube channel get. So this is looking at Amanda Knox and an email that she sent to friends and family just 2 days after Meredith Kercher was found murdered. So it's a very raw telling of the Amanda Knox story. Members of the channel have had this for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to share what members of the channel get with you. If you want to become a channel member, you'll find links in the show description. Let's have a look at Amanda Knox's email. When someone has told a story over and over for years, they have had plenty of time to perfect that story, especially if they're telling lies. So it's useful to go back to the very first time they ever told the story and see what it sounded like then. Welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, using my process of statement investigation, which anyone can learn to give themselves an advantage in understanding the people all around them. If you're seeing this, then you are a member of the channel, part of the community, either on YouTube or on Spotify. Thank you so much for that, because what you guys do, helps power this on to the next level. And for you, in this episode, I have an email from Amanda Knox. It's one she sent to friends and family just a couple of days after her housemate Meredith Kercher was murdered. Now, as far as I know it, this is the first time that, apart from speaking to the police, this is the first time on record she spoke about events. So it's going to be very raw, and we're going to be able to dig into the words that she uses. It's going to be fascinating. Look, what is going on with this? Look, at one extreme, she could be lying and covering up her involvement in the murder. At the other extreme, she's innocent and she's sharing her experience with friends. So let's delve into the words and see what we can find. What I'm going to be looking for here, like when I've looked at Amanda telling this story 7 years afterwards in a couple of episodes, story selling. Is she just going through events and updating us on what happened? Or is she selling us a story, trying to make us buy what she's saying? Watch out for hiding information as well, and watch out for the language of persuasion and convincing. Truthful people just tell us what happened, whereas liars, deceivers, people hiding something, they will try and persuade and convince us that what they're saying is the truth. So let's dig into Amanda's email. And it starts with, this is an email for everyone, because I'd like to get it all out and not have to repeat myself 100 times like I've been having to do at the police station. Some of you already know some things, some of you know nothing. What I'm about to say, I can't say to journalists or newspapers, and I require that of anyone receiving this information as well. This is my account of how I found my roommate murdered the morning of Friday, November the 2nd. Now, if you can see the words here, the spelling is all Amanda's own. It's entirely in lowercase, so this is as Amanda wrote it. And what have I got there in the words? Well, the first thing, I always say this when we look at a statement that's a written statement like an email or a public statement, who is the audience? And she says, this is an email for everyone. Now, we know how emails go. You put the names of the people that you want to get the email in the to line. Maybe you put some people in the CC line. Don't recommend the CC line myself, but that's just a personal preference. Anyway, you've got the to line, and that's who the email is going to. But however, she says this is for everyone. So this is to be read, in her own words, this is to be read by absolutely everyone. We've got the intended audience. This is about getting Amanda's story out there. She says, because I'd like to get it all out and not have to repeat myself 100 times like I've been having to do at the police station. So she even explains why this is for everyone. Why is this being said to everyone? The next thing is said quite in the negative, if you notice. What I'm about to say, I can't say to journalists or newspapers. And I require that of anyone receiving this information as well. Now, when something's stated in the negative, it shows where the focus is. I'm not running. Your focus isn't on walking. Your focus is on running. Even if you're not running, your focus is on the fact that you're not running. And here, her focus is on the giving this information, or journalists or newspapers getting this information. That is interesting to me. We will come to that a little bit more as we go. Now, have a look at this bit here where she says, and she's written, this is account, but I think it's supposed to be, this is my account of how I found my roommate murdered on the morning of Friday, November the 2nd. Now, This is not her just saying this is what happened. This is her saying this is my account. So it's a personal telling. It's how she wants to frame the story. Again, she's saying that in her words. This is something that is very personal to her. And this is how I found my roommate murdered. Now, just like the interview that I looked at her from 7 years after Meredith's murder, she doesn't shy away, which is reassuring. She doesn't shy away from using the term murder to describe that. Very often guilty people will downplay the severity of what they're being accused of, or what has happened, what events have happened. But Amanda doesn't do that at all. She is very much in the zone of talking about her roommate being murdered. No downplaying there at all. And then on the morning of Friday, November the 2nd, she's zoning in on the time that it happened. The email continues, and she says, "The last time I saw Meredith, 22, English, beautiful, funny, was when I came home from spending the night at a friend's house. It was the day after Halloween, Thursday. I got home and she was still asleep." Let's dig into that, okay? So let's just take out the bit where she describes Meredith, because that's like in brackets, so we can take that out, and it becomes, "The last time I saw Meredith was when I came home from spending the night at a friend's house. I got home and she was still asleep." Do you spot the flaw there? I know she's trying to say the concept of the last time I saw Meredith was on this day after coming home from a friend's house. But what she's actually saying is the last time I saw Meredith, I didn't see Meredith because she was still asleep. Or did she see Meredith because she went into her bedroom and saw her sleeping? It just doesn't hang together very well, this description of the last time she saw Meredith. We've got a focus here of her setting up that she was out for the night when I came home from spending the night at a friend's house. So she is setting up a narrative that she wasn't spending time in that house. It's very natural that she was not in that house the night that Meredith was murdered, is what I think is going on there. By the way, this is not an accusation of guilt at this point. This is noticing what the words are doing. And do we start to feel here that she's selling something? I got home and she was still asleep. Also, the day after Halloween, Thursday, a very clunky way of describing just the Thursday or the day before she died. You know, you think that the priority would be the day that she died because that's the day that everything happened. However, it was the day after Halloween, Thursday. She says, "I got home and she was still asleep, but after I had taken a shower and was fumbling around in the kitchen, she emerged from her room with the blood of her costume, brackets vampire, still dripping down her chin." A lot to unpack there. So we, in Amanda's talk before, I noticed that she spoke a lot about hygiene and lack of hygiene. And here we have her focusing on the shower. Again, she's going to tell us every time she took a shower. She's still doing it 7 years on. When I looked at that other one, she is very focused on hygiene and lack of hygiene. Now, I've only looked at her speak about events. In fact, I haven't actually, just thinking about it. I've looked at her speaking about events of the night before, which is what we're going to see in this email, the night that the body was found. She talks about showers and hygiene and cleanliness a lot then. Less so when I've seen her talk about the police interview. She doesn't say she's been stuck in the police station and wasn't able to have a wash or anything. That's interesting to me. Maybe when she's been talking about prison, I mean, that's somewhere where I think hygiene or lack of hygiene may well be strongly on someone's mind. Does she talk about that a lot? I don't know. If you do know, do let me know in the comments. Anyway, we have her taking a shower. She was fumbling around in the kitchen. She emerged from her room with the blood of her costume, which is interesting. It would be makeup blood. It wouldn't actually be the blood of her costume dripping down. Vampire still dripping down her chin. And again, I get the thing that wants to be conveyed here, which is she was wearing makeup with, I don't know, red blotches or something like that dripping down her chin. But the way she's described it is very visceral. The blood of her costume, vampire, still dripping down her chin is a very vivid description of blood on the face of someone who a few hours later was going to be murdered. And, well, you know what? She doesn't shy away from that, but she does have a little bit of a fascination about that. We talked for a while in the kitchen, how the night went, what our plans were for the day. Nothing out of the ordinary. And I flagged that up, nothing out of the ordinary. Why? Because when people tell us things were normal, Were they always? Why did she feel the need to tell us that things were normal then? Because she's describing just what happened. She's giving us some events. Remember I said, are we being sold a story here? So why does she feel the need to tell us nothing out of the ordinary? Why did she feel the need to tell us things were normal? You will notice it's another statement in the negative. It's not everything was normal, which would be in the positive. It was nothing out of the ordinary, which is saying that my focus is on something out of the ordinary. Don't know what went on. Then she went to take a shower, so we have a focus on a shower again, and I began to start eating a little bit while I waited for my friend Raphael, brackets, at whose house I'd stayed over. So Raphael only comes into the story a little bit later on. She didn't say at the very start there that she was staying over at Raphael's house. She just said a friend's house, and now she's saying it's Raphael's house that she stayed in. So I waited for a friend to arrive at my house. He came right after I started eating. He made himself some pasta. As we were eating together, Meredith came out of the shower and grabbed some laundry, or put some laundry in, one or the other, and I returned to her room after saying hi to Raphael. Now we've got some interesting bits going on here. We've got again the focus of a shower. This time it's Meredith having a shower, where the focus is on, and then we have this focus on laundry, again a sort of hygienic activity, and she's got this focus again on laundry there. So again, just this focus on cleanliness or lack of cleanliness. I've highlighted the word shower. I've highlighted the word grabbed there because we will see the word grabbed appear time and time again in this email, and it's very interesting. 2 days after Meredith was murdered, and Amanda is using the word grabbed a lot in this email. What we have here is in the first Amanda Knox analysis that I did, which was her speaking 7 years on, she was going backwards in time a lot to make what she was saying make sense, and there was some confused storylines and the timeline was all a bit dodgy. I'm not seeing so much of that in this email, which suggests this is maybe a little bit more truthful than the other interview that I looked at. But this is just, again, this confusion and this need to put confusion right. She grabbed some laundry or put some laundry in, one or the other. She returned to her room after saying hi to Raphael. Now that bit is slightly out of time. Again, it's not she said hi to Raphael and then returned to her room. She returned to her room, but first she said hi to Raphael. After lunch, I began to play the guitar with Raphael, and Meredith came out of her room and went to the door. She said bye and left for the day. It was the last time I saw her alive, is the next part of the email. So after lunch, I began to play the guitar. We've got, just have you noticed, a lot of detail in this description of the last time she saw Meredith. We have the showers that are there. We have the laundry. We have the fact that she was eating. We have the fact that Raphael came over when she started eating, so really, really detailed, and he made some pasta. We've got Meredith going for a shower, coming back for a shower. A lot of detail in here, which will become interesting in a little bit. Anyway, let's continue. I played guitar with Raphael. Meredith came out of her room and went to the door. She said bye and left for the day. How does she know she left for the day? How does she know that she had never come back? She did come back for the day, as far as I know. I've got my timelines right. She said bye and left for the day. It was the last time I saw her alive. So look, I don't have that downplaying. Last time I saw her alive is again admitting that she is dead. But I'm interested in that phrase, she left for the day. Maybe she went out to university for the day, but it's an interesting phrase to use. The email continues. After a little while of playing the guitar, again, we've got loads and loads of detail. We don't really need to know that she's playing the guitar here. Me and Raphael went to his house to watch movies and after to eat dinner and generally spend the evening and night indoors. We didn't go out. This, to me, is the most concerning part of the email. Let me read it again. After a little while of playing guitar, me and Raphael went to his house to watch movies and after to eat dinner and generally spend the evening and night indoors. We didn't go out. Let me break that down and show you why it worries me. So me and Raphael went to his house to watch movies. Okay, so that is an intention to watch movies. Doesn't say they watched movies. The intention was to watch movies, but she doesn't say we went to his house and watched movies. It was we went to his house to watch movies. So this is the intention, and after to eat dinner. So again, we've got the intention there, to eat dinner, but she doesn't again say that they went to his house and had dinner. And generally spend the evening and night indoors. So generally means what? In the main? That's what generally means, or mostly. But it doesn't mean we didn't go back out again. It doesn't mean we were inside all the time, because generally does not mean all the time. It's just in general. So she's saying that in general, they went to spend the evening and night indoors. She's very keen to get across to us that they did not leave Raphael's house. Why is that? Why does she want to say that? And why is it all done in intention? What their intention was in their mind when they left, it was to watch movies, but she doesn't say they watched movies. It was to eat dinner, but she doesn't say they had dinner. And generally, which means most of the time, spend the evening and night indoors. And then she says, we didn't go out. We didn't go out is a statement in the negative. Her focus is on going out. That part of the email really, really concerns me, because it leads me to believe that there's nothing in there that says that they stayed in. It says to actually, the focus is, I want to tell you I stayed in, but my language is leaking that we might have gone out. The email continues, the next morning I woke up around 10:30 and after grabbing my few things, so we've got grabbing again there in her language, after grabbing my few things, I left Raphael's apartment and walked the 5-minute walk back to my house to once again take a shower. So again, we've got this shower going on that she wants to tell us how clean she was at the time, or that she had to clean at the time. So I walked back to the house to once again take a shower and grab, well, that word grab again. So we've got grab and grabbing, and grab a change of clothes. She then goes on, I also needed to grab a mop because after dinner, Raphael had spilled a lot of water on the floor of his kitchen by accident and didn't have a mop to clean it up. So we've got grab again. We've got grabbing a few things. We've got grabbing a change of clothes and grabbing a mop. The word grab to describe the events that are around Meredith's death high up in Amanda's vocabulary. I needed to grab a mop, and then this is really strange. Now, this differs from the story. In the story that I looked at 7 years on, she says there was a leaking water pipe that had dribbled water out in the kitchen. Here, it's completely different. It's not the same story. So she is not, one of these two things is not true. Maybe both of them, but one of the two stories she's told cannot be true. That's just factual. So we'll leave it there. The full episode is available to members of this channel. If you want to become a member, you'll find a link in the show description. Also, if you become a member, you can get early access to all the regular episodes of Never a Truer Word. And there's a huge back catalogue of exclusive member episodes as well. All the links are in the description. And I'll see you soon for something new from Never a Truer Word.